Hi, happy Thursday. So at this point, between yesterday and maybe some work that you've done today, you've been generating a decent looking essay. You probably have a couple of paragraphs in there now. Maybe you started your introduction, maybe you worked on a couple of your main body paragraphs. You're gonna get to a point where you're done and you need to wrap it all up. You need to put it into like a little package. And I don't mean literally, I mean that as a metaphor. Most things that are written have a conclusion. There's something that lets the reader know, okay, we're done. So I've put together a couple of samples of what I think that might look like. And I wanted you to see them because I think it's important for you to for me to not just tell you to do it and expect that you're going to go off and do it and you're not going to be confused about that. Conclusions in essays, when you conclude an essay, you don't want to have any fewer than 4 sentences. You don't want to say, in conclusion, I should get an allowance. I should get an allowance because of this, this, and this, and this. So therefore, I should get an allowance. That would sound so bad, and your reader's going to be like, wow, that was going so well, and then you ended it like that. It's like, wah, wah. You want to like dress it up a little bit. So it's got to be sort of a balanced, I think of it as a balanced way to wrap it up. Not too much. You don't want to go off on a tangent because your readers are going to lose you at hello. And so you want to have it just enough. There's a fine line between just enough and going overboard. So make it balanced. What I would like for you to do is restate your claim. I also want you to, in a different sentence, restate your 3 reasons. Then I want you to give your readers some kind of a call to action. Give them something to do. You can give them their next steps. You can tell them specifically what they should do now. You could ask them a question. It should somehow connect back to your claim. And if you do a combination of these things, that'll be great. You'll see what I mean. Here's like 3, I gave like 3 sort of examples of what it might sound like. So you've just finished, you have your lead, you've got your main body paragraph number 1, number 2, and number 3. My reason number 1, my reason number 2, and my reason number 3. Now you're at the conclusion stage. Mom, Dad, I should get an allowance. I should get an allowance because I'm responsible. I'll save my money and I won't have to keep asking you for it. So here's our next step. Let's have a meeting to decide how much and what I have to do in order to make this happen. So what do you say? Okay, that's one way to end your essay or your speech. Here's a second way. Mom, Dad, I've proven myself to be worthy of an allowance. It's time, don't you think? I should have an allowance because I'm responsible, I will save my money, and I won't have to keep asking you for it. So what do you say? Allow yourself to be convinced that the daughter you raised is ready for the next step in her life. A little dramatic, but kind of fun. Why not get dramatic, right? Mom, Dad, can you remember back when you were kids? Didn't Grandma and Grandpa slip you a few bucks now and then for something at the store? You won't have to do that. I should have an allowance because I'm responsible. I will save my money and I won't have to keep asking you for it. Something just occurred to me. Sometimes you have another reason, but I told you only 3 reasons. Maybe one of those reasons isn't really strong enough and you couldn't really support it, but it was a pretty good one. You can put that in here as well if you want to. That could be your conclusion. It could be, and one more thing, and then slip it in there and see how it goes, right? The idea is that your conclusion should let your readers know, okay, I'm done. I've given you everything I can think of. So it's letting your readers know that you're done, and it's letting them know that there's something they can actually do if they're on board with you right now. There's something they can actually do, all right? Give it a shot. At the very least, write down your claim and write down your 3 reasons, and then try a couple of things and see how it goes. Remember, you're trying on those shoes. You want to see which pair of shoes you like the best. So you don't want to just get one pair of shoes and then walk out the door. You want to try on a couple to see which one fits the best. That's what you do when you write. See which fits. She's talking about shoes. She's speaking in metaphor. I never understand what this woman means. All right, loves. Have a great rest of your day.